All right, I'll call the order of the Open Space and Recreation Committee for February 4th, 2025. If we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Has anybody signed on who's doing that?
Yes, there is one member.
Okay, who is that?
The screen name is Phil Newfeld.
Oh, that's not a member. Yeah.
Oh, any members?
Yes, because if it's Zoom, we have to do a roll call if we're broken up, but, okay.
Nope.
All right, so first thing on the agenda is open mic.
Unreliable, I guess.
Yes, you are.
Last Wednesday, there was a public notice in the Lowell Sun about a opportunity for comment on the proposed de minimis impact determination on section 40F for the Fields Conservation Area and Shady Hill. The comments close 14 days from the 29th, and I was wondering if this committee wanted to say anything response. I have not been able to, although I've asked a couple of people from the Yankee Doodle who are on the Yankee Doodle Bike Path Committee. They haven't told me exactly what this means and whether it would be helpful to have comments or not.
Thank you. If you want, can you just email that to either Kat or Marliese so she can, oh, okay. There you go. Thank you. So I know that we have the tough students is item 6, but I'm gonna move them up just so we can introduce ourselves. So then we have 3 of the 6-person team here this evening. If you guys want to just introduce yourselves to us, and then we'll do the same to you.
Great. Yeah, my name's Maddie. Like everyone else in the first year degree. My name is Juliet.
I'm Christian.
Great, nice to meet you. So my name is Mike Roser. I'm the chair of the committee.
Jack Bowen. Mike Parker.
Grace Tucci. Catherine Henderson.
John Bartlett, I'm the vice chair.
Martin Tennyson, I'm the secretary. Was it Juliet or Juliet?
Juliet
Juliet.
with Romeo.
Great.
All right. Next we have the meeting minutes. Did everyone get a chance to look at those? Okay. What's the motion?
I make the motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, unanimous. So I put on the agenda land bank fund. I've been working with Clancy to start getting money put into the land bank fund. And I'm gonna read to you, I put together a land bank fund directive, which Clancy looked at and he's on board with. After I talked to him about it, I had another thought for a funding source, which could be any tax title land that we sell. If we're selling land, maybe we should go back to buying land. So that's not inserted in here because that just came to me, but I'll just read it to you. The following directive will be to fund the land bank account to give the town the ability to have funds available to purchase and protect property in Billerica when it becomes available. In year 1, the town will put $500,000 in the land bank from any available source with a focus on community preservation fund, free cash, or overlay surplus. After year 1, the town will put a minimum of $250,000 per year in the land bank with a 2% increase yearly to keep up with cost escalations. It can be from any source with a focus on community preservation fund, free cash, or overlay surplus. The town will automatically submit a request for funding to the TPC committee every year. So that's just a draft. It's got to go before the select board and everything, but I just wanted to let everyone know we're trying to identify parcels and stuff like that. Without cash, you can't do a lot. So, and Clancy is supportive of putting some funding in the bank account. Did you have your hand up?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, CPA money is not eligible to put into a land bank because the land bank does not preserve the land that it buys. The land bank could buy like cider mill, but cider mill could still be built. So
This specifically
CPA money-
says protect the property in Billerica.
yeah, but
So-
there is only one fund that you can put CPA money in, well, 2. One is the housing trust, and the
Yeah.
other is the conservation trust. You cannot fit money into
Okay.
an account.
Well,
So we
we'll
pay-
look into that and adjust accordingly, but
All
the
12
long and the short of it is we're looking to get some money put away every year. So that when something becomes available, we have some funds to go after it. So
You guys tried this before in the past, right?
I wrote the land bank account with Richard Montori about 20 years ago.
And what happened?
It's in existence. The only money that ever really went into it was we had $400,000 from when Rocco Skipper developed Swanson Meadows. And then there was another small chunk of money that went into it. So that's but the town's never really put money in it itself.
So we have over 400,000 existing.
No, because a lot of that was spent when we did the affordable housing unit behind St. Teresa's. We contributed $200,000 to the archdiocese to do this layout of the property and all of that, and then they funded the rest of it to create those 44 housing units. So,
As an example for Mr. Chief, every year in the warrant, they'll have 6 million for the land bank. And then by the time the land bank comes up, there's no free
yeah,
cash anymore.
exactly, yes.
So I would sometimes move it up to earlier in the, and then.
Well, the big difference now is the town manager is in favor of it. Before you had the opposition of the town manager working against you, so,
I'm concerned it's like 5,000 out of budget. Everybody's talking about increases in the taxes.
no, none of this is from the budget.
But,
It's either
Oh,
free
okay.
cash.
yeah,
I
but
thought
that's,
the
that's
CPC,
taxpayers' money.
it is, but it's after all the budget's been fully funded. And or CPC, which if Marliese is right, we need to change that, or, overlay surplus. So we're not raising taxes to put money into this account. And the other advantage is if we have the money, if it's either 61A or 61B land, the town gets, I think it's 2 years of back taxes. Because if it's agricultural land or recreational land, you pay significantly less. And when you take it out of that, the town gets the right of first refusal. And I think you get 2 years of the difference that those people save that can go towards the purchase. And then you have your own money. So,
Is this gonna be a warrant article with the selectmen?
no, this is gonna be a policy of the board to, just like our, debt policy or anything else, will be a funded policy.
So how?
It'll go before town meeting if it's free cash, or to put
Yeah.
money in there from the overlay account or CPC. The article to put it into the land bank will go before town meeting, but to create this policy directive will be the select board.
Okay, so town meeting maybe choose not.
They could, but hopefully, with the town manager on board and I'd like to think the select board will be united on this and we can start putting some money away, but yeah, I mean, it's the final decision is town meeting.
Do you understand that? Or?
No, this is a draft.
Oh,
It hasn't even gone before the select
Okay.
board, it's going on the next agenda.
Draft.
I just wanted to let this board know that I'm working on
Yeah.
trying to get some money set aside to buy land.
Yeah.
And I just, I'll look into what you said and it may need to be adjusted from there. All right, so we have old business, tree warden.
So currently there is no movement on this. We still don't know who the final hire is going to be or who they might want to appoint or if it's going to defer to some other designation like we talked about. So at this point, there's nothing new. We're just keeping it on the agenda to keep our eyes on.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? This is on the tree board? Does that go through the budget as well? As there?
It's an employee.
Who voted to go ahead and go forward?
It's an empty.
It's an existing position.
Oh, yes,
yes.
Vacant. It
And-
used to be Michael Haynes,
Oh,
who
how long
retired.
has it been vacant?
He just retired.
Yeah, it was-
Oh, okay.
Yeah. it was
So
short amount of time.
what's been vacant for longer is the ninth open space committee position, which should be an employee of that department who is also a resident.
Yeah.
So we haven't had anyone that spoke with those requirements, so it's been vacant long enough. Once we get that position hired, we figure out who that appointment should actually be.
It's not a paid position because like Kat said, it's could be, like when Michael Haynes did it, he was the tree warden. So if they had to mark trees for a scenic road or something like that, he did the job, but he was, or I think I think Don McDonald did it for a while too. No, he might have been a fence viewer, but in any event, it's,
The director of Parks and. Trees
Yeah.
Department.
yeah. So,
I thought it was something additional.
no. All right, Arbor Day,
So I believe that clean up green up is set. And what was that date again?
Saturday, the 26th.
So I had planned to say that there's no new information from the tree wardens association. I haven't gotten any email or mail that the seed laying program is up and running yet. I went to their website earlier today to see if there was any expectation. And it's live online. I just haven't gotten any notice.
okay,
So I wrote down the trees real quick. I cross-checked them against what is native to the East Coast. And we have, because I know we want small, we want cute, so I cross off everything big. So the best suitable ones are going to be the Eastern Redbud again, or the choke cherry. So choke cherries, I don't know who's familiar with them.
they make a mess.
They smell great for a little while, but they're pretty messy, so I think we go to the Redbud. It's native to the East Coast. Massachusetts is pushing a little bit on the northernness, but everybody was happy with it last year, so
So we're only gonna do one this year as opposed
I
to,
think we do a larger round of just the one species.
How tall is it here?
What did we say
The
last?
ceiling.
30 feet, I believe.
Oh, let's see.
yeah,
I have one.
seal.
It'll flirt with your roof if you plant it close to your house and it won't be any taller.
So we don't wanna do like a lilac or anything like that, because those were very, very popular, yes, those for us to run out.
I mean, if we wanna spend tax dollars on pretty, we can do that. If we wanna spend tax dollars on environment, we should stick to trees. But redbud is a pretty tree, so I think we can all agree on that.
No. So,
No, we did 3 or 4 last year, we did 4 different ones
That was
last
a
year.
test, right?
Yeah, as just to see, and the lilacs were the most popular.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think if, I don't mind scaling.
200?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't mind scaling it back to 2, but I think that those 2 would be good.
I got one.
Mine don't like support.
And then if we're going to take a delivery date this time instead of just waiting for them to show up. So hopefully that will keep it from being on the back of the delivery truck for an extra week.
Yeah, that'd be
That was
good.
a problem last year.
Well, if you do both, people who want the lilac because they were so popular, when you say, oh, we don't have any of those, then most likely they're gonna take the tree.
Oh, yeah,
Opposed to, nah, I don't want the tree, so I don't bother.
And that's how
So
it
we
was
may
last
be
year.
able to,
Everyone wanted the smallest one possible that was left.
or at least,
Warren Manning was a big fan of lilacs.
oh,
Indoor, if you see lilacs by Talbot, Oval, that's all from his days.
Okay.
The lilacs by John Ryan's are probably still remainder of what he
Not
was
native, but
planted.
historically
Yeah.
relevant. I
Yeah.
like that. Okay.
Native, so I'm not so sure, the whole thing native and invasive is. When did it
Sure.
go?
Perfect.
We don't have to be
So I
quiet.
will verify the funding out of whatever account has it available and we'll
Okay.
go 200 and 200.
yeah, talk to Clancy, because, Mr. Curran came up with the money last year, so.
Yep.
Alright. So we get clean up on that line, Arbor Day, but, and
Does the select board do anything for Tree City?
not yet.
Okay.
And then item 6, we did, but we can talk about it, before you got in, Darlene,
my fault.
that's all right, we have 3 of the 6 students that are gonna work with us. So we did introductions, this is Darlene. And I wanna do that earlier on the agenda, because they're gonna be sitting. So now that we're on that agenda item, we can talk a little bit about what their role is gonna be, and the primary focus is going to be in Billerica, trying to identify all the properties that we have that have Article 97 protections on them. Giving you an example, there was a effort afoot to put the rec center over at Peggy Hannah Park. And because the park grant was given for the basketball courts, that automatically put an Article 97 protection on it, but we didn't even know that was there until later on in the process. So there's probably Article 97s we don't know about. We want to try to identify wherever those exist. And then the other thing, which you guys will have access to, is on our GIS system. We've identified all of the state-owned properties, federal-owned properties, properties with 61A, 61B, conservation properties, anything that's town-owned, state or federally owned. And what we want to do is look at that map and target certain parcels that if they should come up for sale to make contiguous parcels. And then the other half of that is to look at parcels that the town owns that we want to protect in perpetuity and put Article 97 protections on to give them that extra level of protection. Did I miss anything?
No, in fact, I think you added a third one in there.
I didn't know we were getting 6. I thought we were just getting 2, so I don't want them to be bored.
Don't think that'll be a problem.
They're in college.
Yeah. So, do you guys have any questions for us, or?
Just in terms of what is like your like ultimate goal of what you want to see us do? Because ultimately our deliverable is to do some sort of final report.
Yep.
On this in terms of what the school requires. So what is like your values as a committee? What do you want to see arise from this besides like?
So I guess the report would be, and Kat's right, I did slip a third one in there, but the primary focus was to identify all Article 97 properties that we currently have that don't, either we know they're Article 97s or we don't know, just identify all the properties that have that protection on them. And then the other half is identify a list of properties that would be recommended to have Article 97 protections added to them.
Okay, so we're like kind of in the process of developing what our scope of work is going to be.
Okay.
And we kind of see it in like 2 phases, in that it's the Article 97 piece, and in addition, a suitability analysis of the properties, and looking at the properties that are not protected by Article 97, and basically developing a list of criteria to make recommendations on what the highest and best use of those parcels are.
Well, highest and best use is not necessarily an Article 97 protection.
Right.
What we're looking for is, and this was a directive from the select board that was sent down to us, to identify those that have it, so we know where they all are. And then secondly, to give us a list of where properties that don't have that protection should have it because of their size or topography, or they're contiguous with other protected properties. So it's not about highest and best use. It's about trying to find properties to protect. That's the catalyst of Article 97.
It is when you consider that some properties, the highest and best use is conservation. So, but a lot of people tend to think, oh, you're talking about a big shopping center or housing. That's what people like to think of highest and best uses because of the return on tax revenue. But absolutely, conservation is sometimes the highest and best use for this record.
I have a clarifying question.
Sure.
So the properties that don't currently have Article 97 protections, you want to find out which ones maybe should. The ones that might not fit Article 97 protection, I think from our understanding was that the other part was kind of going to be to figure out maybe what they could be used for. Is that something that arises out of the scope, or?
Yeah, that was never, we're not looking, if it's vacant property that we have or raw land, we're not looking to find uses for it because we want to protect it.
Yeah.
So that's really the scope of the process.
So that is absolutely a skill within the educational program of what you guys are doing, but it's not a specific goal from the committee.
So you're like, I guess top priorities would be like open space conservation. We don't have to worry about like whether it's like suitable for development.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, that actually. Yeah, that was mine.
Tony?
Do you want to give them a timeline?
There's no-
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you went through the summer or if he needs this by next month or.
We do have are 50% deliverables, so majority of our research due in almost exactly a month. So just to give a, sense of what our time frame is, it will be, approximately a month of research before writing. Our like scope of work, we'll be sending a draft to you and Jane this week, and then the final will be next week, so we can send that out, and that will have a list of like the major dates that we'll be meeting.
If you can send it to all of us.
Oh, yeah,
Karen,
we can
just
definitely do that, yeah. So this will just be a draft this week, and then next week we can get your feedback and we
Okay.
have it all finalized. Like Maddie said, I think a month is like 50%, and then end of April will be, like very end of April will be 100%, and then presentations that beginning of May week, which you'll also be updated on.
Okay.
So that's rough timeline.
No, that's great. And we appreciate your help, because it's a big project. Unless you can just focus on it like you guys are gonna do, so we really appreciate your help. Any other questions for any of the board members?
Just that I recall getting a list from Michael Gendron, from state, goes over the Article 97. Maybe I should dig it up.
Sure.
Um,
I'm sure anything we can provide to them that we already know about will make it easier.
Yeah,
So they don't waste time researching something we already know is not 97. So if we can get
I
that.
kind of recall it was not accurate, so maybe that's why they're coming in.
And we
Well-
have a copy of that already.
Okay,
It's
so
already
you
been
have.
shared.
Okay, no, great.
Yeah,
All right.
just a final question, before moving on. What do you guys intend that research, I know you mentioned something about meeting minutes, will that be primarily our research?
That's a great question for you, Mike. When it comes to what are those other chapter 97 properties out there that we don't know about? Where would you advise they research to find them?
So, the way we found out about the one on the tennis courts was through the state. Because the state issued a parks grant, and when they do parks grants, I think they automatically put an Article 97 protection on everything. So we just did the Ditson School, which was a parks grant, which also puts an Article 97 protection on that. So I'd start with the state and ask them if they have a list of grants that they've given to the town that would have Article 97 protections put on when we took that grant money. And then we can cross-reference that against the list we have to see if there's any that are missing or we didn't know actually had those protections. I know the Parks grant is one of them. I don't know if there's other grants out there that automatically put a protection on it when you get it. You can research that.
I think the county then, when we did, that's when we did the swap, the 2-to-1 swap, right?
I don't think, I'm not sure if that's an Article 97. That was, those restrictions were put on by Finneran when we traded him the house and 5 acres for the whole Vietnam Veterans Park. And to devalue the property, he put all those, the building restrictions on. So we did do a 2-to-1 land swap to get enough property for the DPW. But that was, I don't believe there was Article 97, but we can check on it.
So,
John?
let's assume that Vietnam Veterans Park is not Article 97. So that might be one that we want to do.
Yep.
But that's both recreation, that's recreation.
Mhm.
So it's not just conservation, recreation.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. John?
The state has a website where you can just go and pick the municipality you're working with. Like on the drop down, just select Billerica, and then to the right, you can select grants. And then there's like a double dot, you can then select the parameters of the grant info you're looking for, and then you can filter through them.
So that would, be kind of to bypass like the contact.
Yeah.
It does take you a lot of
Yeah.
research, yeah.
Right.
Whether it's
Just need to
accurate,
figure out
it's the
which
state
grants,
site,
like park grant or
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, you may have,
but there's filters in there, so.
yeah.
Since you're familiar with it, can you find that site, just shoot the link over to me so we can.
I was playing around online just to look up some of the info over here and some other grants for other communities I'm on, and I just kind of ran into that.
Everyone good?
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you. So the next meeting date is March 4th. Everyone good with that? Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
No other admin updates?
I have been on March 4th.
Oh, you do?
It's our first budget meeting.
Okay,
Clancy is sending us the,
What time's that?
6 o'clock.
so you're probably gonna meet at FinCom every Tuesday and Thursday for the month.
No, it's sporadic. There's like 4 of them for the month.
Okay, are you good the second Tuesday? Well, that would be,
Oh. That's,
okay,
that's Jamie Bill, and the third one is FinCom. We'll see April. But
Yeah.
yeah, sorry,
okay.
I apologize.
We'll stick with the first
Let's
Tuesday
do,
then.
yeah, let's do,
Yeah.
yeah,
Darlene excuse.
Oh, this sounds a lot more.
oh, excuse me, yes. All right, so the motion to adjourn, I believe there was a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstentions, unanimous. Thank you, everyone.
What year?